Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of GG Shop Talk, the weekly live recorded podcast. My name is Brendan Mills.
And I'm Negative Nancy.
I get ya, nice.
I took a test. It proves...
You prove that you are negative.
I am.
Yes.
I'm an extremely negative person.
Yep. Okay. And my co-host is, of course, Ian White, also known as Gus the Hutt. What do we have for you today, everyone? It's a decent show today. A nice bit of GW news. We've got some Kill Team stuff on there to come up and a few other bits to talk about. There's a nice Geek Out section. I think we're going to be talking about that for a little bit.
Actually, I had a chance to watch some...
I know.
Actually, I watched something else I didn't mention about. I watched something last night that's actually
cool.
worth talking about.
Nice.
Which is ironic, given what the programme is.
Oh, cool. All right, okay. Yes, we've got a nice little mini Law with Gus listeners question section and some GG news. Mainly going to be covering a little bit more of what we spoke about in the past in GG news, but it's GG news nonetheless. Right, shall we get into it? Let's go on with some news. Right. Oh, actually, before we go down to the Sunday preview, the path of the preview, the new Dark Reapers. Let's just quickly check that out.
This is what they're doing every Monday at the moment. They're showing off something Eldari.
Yeah.
Or Eldari.
Yeah.
Because that's copyrightable.
Yeah. Is Eldar already copyrighted then?
I don't think you can copyright Eldar. It's a Tolkienian word. Like the elves in general, their society was known as the Eldar.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so it's probably copyrighted by Tolkien.
Okay,
If not, then it's not copyrightable because it's like public domain.
Yeah, because Tolkien has been more than 75 years, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, on both of those counts, they can't copyright Eldar.
Fair enough. Okay.
But they can copyright Eldari. So.
Right. I watched Studio J7's stream on Monday, and he basically went through these as well. And to be honest, they're copying my paint scheme from my towel, my black towel.
Yeah.
They pretty much are. They saw the awesomeness of my paintwork.
Copying you, yeah.
And they decided to copy, even though these were painted like 2 years ago. They're still copying me.
Dark Reapers have been around a lot longer than that.
Shush. No one knows. No one knows. Yeah, I quite like it. I like the contrast between the dark armor and the extreme. It's like making it into a little bit of a cartoon. It's basically giving it that outline. Obviously, cartoons, you've got nice, colourful characters, but with a black outline, this is like the reverse.
It's really nice. I really like these models. They're a nice update. There is one little niggle thing that just doesn't sit right with me.
What's up?
I mean, you can't see it too much on that one, but if you scroll through... Oh, there we go. That's the one that really highlights it. It's
Describe what you're seeing, because obviously...
It's the face. So the previous...
Is that like an ode to Japanese culture? Or Chinese culture?
Not even that. I mean, it is what Dark Reapers look like.
Right.
Totally. They've always had that sort of stitched skull mouth.
Right.
But it's always been... like a bit larger, more. It basically has looked a lot more skull-like in the past, and now it just looks like they're sucking on a sour boiled sweet.
Very descriptive words.
Yeah, it's like they've reduced the size of the mouth. It's a tiny little mouth. They used to look mean. They used to have like eyes that kind of almost met in the middle with like this really angry brow, and that's now gone. It now just looks like. Yeah, they're just Yeah, it looks like a Day of the Dead doll
Yeah,
that you
actually,
give to
yeah,
your
that is
child.
actually very apt. It does look Day of the Deadish.
Yeah, but they look cutesy almost.
Yeah.
They're not. They're supposed to be the representation of death. You see them, you know that death is coming for you, and instead you're just going, "Oh."
Hence the name Dark Reaper.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. What's the weapon?
That would be a Reaper launcher. It's
Reaper launcher.
So it's
So
like
is that head there, the tip of that weapon, that big bulbous bit, that looks like a little bit like an RPG, is that the bit that launches?
no, things launch out of it.
That doesn't make no sense. Look at the curvature of it. You can't fit things through there.
No, yeah. If you see the holes,
Yeah.
see
those- Yeah, but then you see the holes there, and then it curves in like that. Where the projectile's going to get through?
they come out from.
Yeah, but they come out from back here.
No, they don't.
Where do they come out from?
Not there.
What? They are made there.
Yes. Yeah. Eldar technology. Their weapons, they construct the ammunition as it's being fired.
Oh, that is so cool.
Yeah. There's a little lore tidbit for you that not a lot of people know it. Yeah, they do have ammunition. They
need an energy cell to create the
they
ammunition.
they have an energy cell. They also have an ammunition, but the ammunition pack just contains the raw materials.
That is awesome.
The ammunition just contains the raw materials, and then it
they
can be
don't-
more compact.
And they also don't need like a barrel and stuff like this. It just basically goes. That's cool. Yeah. So basically the
It's got a
entire
little 3D printer in it. Turns right. Yeah, it's basically,
yeah. So basically,
but an
the
incredibly
entire-
fast-moving one.
The entire body is basically that has the purpose of creating the ammo. Essentially, that's cool. That's really
Yeah,
cool.
you'll probably find that the ammo, because like you've got there, you've got a spare like head that he's carrying. If you go
Right.
back one,
Back one. What at the back?
yeah, you can see like the spare.
Oh, it like wears out.
Yeah, but it's kind of
Or
like
overheats.
yeah. So it's that head is full of the ammunition.
Right. Okay.
So you then take
That's cool.
that's
like that.
then what gets replaced.
Yeah, I like that a lot. That's cool. Reminds me of GPMGs, so when you have to change the barrel and then put another barrel on. Right. Double one.
Yes. So yeah, apparently these.
The weapon options.
Yeah, so for the Exarch, which is the unit sergeant, the leader of the unit, he comes with 4 different weapon options in this. And I'm really liking the look of this kit. It looks really nice.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. He's got a top knot basically on this one.
Yeah, so this is a. Recently in the lore, they've introduced a new Eldar sort of faction that's kind of broken away from the Eldar and the Drukhari, and they kind of mix Eldar and Drukhari within that sort of sub-faction.
Okay.
And apparently this is representing the head of an
That faction.
Inari.
Inari. Right. Okay.
So yeah, it's nice. It's nice that they've done that. This is the first time that the Inari themselves have actually been properly represented on the model, because before it was just you take one of these units, paint them all the same colour. That's your army.
Right. Okay. And with the release of the Eldari is their Codex, which will have one Codex to cover Drukhari and Craft Worlds in one Codex, I believe they're saying.
No, because Drukhari, they've already released Drukhari not that long ago. Yeah. So Drukhari are going to be their own book. Craftworld's going to be their own book. Whether or not they include the Inari in the main codex,
Oh, maybe that's what I heard.
it might be a supplement, but it might be included.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, no problem. Right, so let's go back to the. Let's pick up on the rest of the news this week. Sunday preview. Let's have a look. This is a big one today. Sunday preview. Update rules with chapter approved and get started with Kill Team. Right, so yeah, there's a new chapter approved book, a new mission pack.
So yeah, this is the start of their seasons thing that they do.
But they haven't mentioned the word season on the book anywhere.
No, they haven't. But
So it's almost like they wrote the book, did all the artwork, and then came up with the idea of seasons afterwards.
I don't think it's going to be a thing that's like
Massively.
they're not going to
printed.
put it on the publications. It's literally just going to be an almost abstract thing where every 6 months this is the season that we're focusing on, and then the next 6 months afterwards it'll be a new season and we're focusing on a new area.
But this is where it almost leads to a problem, because if they're trying to capitalize on the terminology of seasons, they need to go full on with it. Otherwise, it will just disappear into the background. Everyone will ignore it, and then the whole point of them using the word seasons in the first place is completely pointless.
Well, I think they're more sort of using it as a this is why we're doing this rather than this is what we're doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, this will have the.
Why are we changing the setting every 6 months? This is why.
Yeah.
But they always plan to change the setting every 6 months. They've just given it a label now.
Yeah.
To
so
justify
this will have your up-to-date points values for your armies, but I'm right by saying that all of that stuff will be in the app anyway.
Yeah, it will be. That will be updated in the app if you have the appropriate content. That will automatically update.
So,
but if you
don't need the Codex for get the points values though. If you're building an army in Tau and you've not bought the Codex, you can still build an army in Tau.
If you don't use the app, then the points in the Codex won't always be accurate, and you'll need this to update.
What I'm trying to say is, if you're using the app, you don't even need the Codex.
You do need the Codex because you need the unlock code that's in the back of the Codex to unlock the content in the app.
No, sorry. To build an army, you do not need the Codex in the app.
Yes, you do.
No, you don't.
Yes, you do.
I can go in there now and build myself an army on any faction. It will let me do it.
No, because it won't let you see all the rules for the units and that.
Oh yeah, I won't be able to see the rules, but I'll still be able to build the army for that faction.
Not sure. That's correct. Yeah, the older factions that don't have an unlock code, yes.
I'll have to have a look into that, because otherwise the app is kind of superfluous why there would be a fee on it in the first place.
Because they still want you to buy the Codex.
No. My point is, one of the rules about what Apple do is you can't charge twice for the same content. And if it's a case where you charge monthly for the fee to have the app, let's say
But it's not just on Apple, though, that's the thing.
No, but it's not just on Apple, but they can't violate Apple's rules just because their business model suits that way.
No, it's not out. Yeah. Well, an app charges twice all the time.
No, not for the same content. Is what I'm saying.
You're not though. That's what I'm saying.
What I'm trying to say, right? So, you buy yourself a Space Marine army. Okay, you've got the units in hand, and you buy the app.
Yeah.
Because the app says you can use this app to build your army list. Okay.
Right.
Now you pay however much it is per month for that app, and on its description it says you can build your army list with this app. Now, if you then need to go and buy the Codex before you can even build the army, that's charging twice for the same thing under Apple's terms.
It's not because the initial thing is charging you for the builder.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but that's what it's charging. It's not charging you for the Space Marine army. It's charging you for the builder. You then have to go and buy the content for the Space Marine army.
But if you
that's not the same content,
right? So can you? If I bought 2 different units right now, use the builder inside the Warhammer app, the 40k app, could I put them together in the builder without the Codex? Because if you can't, then
what would be the point?
What
would be the point?
I'm not saying about a point.
Yeah.
I'm saying
if you can build an army list, but you don't know what any of the rules for the army are.
No, that's not. I'm being very specific. I'm being very specific about my requirement here.
You're being very specific about a point that doesn't matter.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I am being very specific about a point that doesn't matter. But I'm still asking the question. So can you build yourself an army without the Codex?
No, because you don't know what anything does.
Yeah, you might.
No, you can't. You can't. You can't build an army without knowing what things do.
Right. Talk to them.
Yeah, I can say I'll have that unit, that unit, that unit, that unit. I don't know what anything does, but I've now got an army. I don't know what it does, but
Well, yeah. Wow, the 40k app is really slow. That is ridiculous. Right, okay. So if I go to Battleforge,
yeah,
and I put into here plus another army, just call it test, and then I go to choose faction, and I just put in Imperium, confirm.
yeah. Choose one that's got a new codex, not an old codex.
Yeah, okay. Choose army size. We'll just do 500 for now, and then create army. Test Imperium. Now add units to it. Let's just call it detachment. And you choose one. What are we going to do?
Adeptosaurus, that's a modern codex.
There we go. Go for that, right. Now we want to add units to this detachment.
Okay.
Right. 2 models there. Let's get some of those.
But what are you adding? What is it that you're adding to your list?
I don't know.
Exactly. So what's the point?
But it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it does matter. It totally matters.
It matters if you... My point is I'm trying to find out if I want to even buy the Codex.
But you won't find that out from that.
Right, but I can see how many points the units are. I can see...
Yeah, but you won't see whether or not a unit is good or what its rules are. That's what leads you to want to buy it.
But you can still build an army without the Codex.
No.
I just did.
But what does it do?
But that's not the question I'm asking.
But that's your army. Your army is the army's rules, not the army's points. Unless you know what those units are, that information is useless to you.
Well, yeah, useless if I'm playing the game.
Well, yeah. It is the game. If you're just collecting models to just collect, then the points don't matter at all. If you're collecting models to play the game, then you need to know the rules.
Right. So this then does actually serve my point then. If you have, so what's the point in paying a monthly subscription for the app?
Because you can't get the app unless you pay the monthly subscription.
That's not a valid argument.
Well, yeah.
No, it's
Well,
if you have.
You don't need the app at all. If you have the Codex, you can just do everything from the Codex. And back to our original point, every 6 months you'll need this book to update the points in those books. And then you can just get a pen and paper and write out your army list. Old school.
I'm trying to see, apart from it. So are you? I'm just trying to see what the point of the app is.
Yes, yeah.
Now that I've got it a little bit clearer in my head, and the very fact of the restrictions without buying the codexes,
Yep.
right? What's the point of the app?
Point of the app is so that you can use the app for the codexes that you own to build army lists with.
So it's purely convenience.
Basically.
Whenever it's convenient for you, you're welcome
Right.
to bring a device down.
Okay.
It just
And you also don't need to buy the chapter approved.
No. If you're solely using the app, you don't need. The thing that you do need the chapter approved for is for the updated tournament missions, current secondary objectives and stuff like that.
Right, okay.
So this is 2 books. One book is the current season of tournament rules, which everybody that plays match play mostly uses, and the other book is the updated points values. Now, the updated points values are for people that just sit there and with a pen and paper write down all of the points changes from their book.
Right, okay. Fair enough. It just seems a bit like to me, it just seemed like they're charging you for an app that you can't use at all without a codex.
There's other functionality to the app, like you get the core rules of the game with the app.
Right, okay.
Yeah, you get.
But you can't play the game without the codex.
You can't play your individual army without the codex.
Yeah, so I mean, it's like
You have to buy the Codex to play your army.
You have to buy the Codex regardless to play the game anyway.
Yes.
So yeah, true. Unless you buy a starter set and then you get that inside that.
Yeah.
So so if you bought the recruit, from the recruit to the command edition, you don't get a Codex in any of that.
You don't get a Codex, but you do get the data sheets for the units that are in there.
So at that point, it's like if you wanted to use the app to build your army based upon you receiving the command edition,
you can't.
You can't.
No.
It seems a bit. Do you know what I mean? It's like you could download the app, right? Because everyone says, "Oh, get the app," and then you want to use it because you're new to the game to help you play this command edition, but then you can't.
The biggest functionality of the app, the biggest reason to have it is that, say I've got X army, right? I'm going somewhere to play a game. I have to take a rulebook with me because I always forget the rules. I have to take the field manual with me because that's got all the current missions in it. I now have to take my Codex with me. Oh, wait a minute, there was a supplement that came out for my army as well. I now need to take that book with me. You're now carrying around 4 or 5 different books.
Okay.
Or you can just flip to the back of those, do the unlock code, and just take your phone.
Fair enough. All right, let's move on. So they're releasing on pre-order coming up this Saturday the Kill Team starter set. This is essentially the Taurus box without the additional scenery and the core book that came in, and the Taurus book that came inside the Taurus. That's literally scenery and the books. That's all that's missing from this.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, all of that is available separately.
Yep,
which we'll get to in a minute.
In a second. But yeah, I mean, it's as you guys have probably been seeing if you've been watching the painting streams that Gus has been doing recently. You've finished all the Death Core.
Yes.
And
I think I've got a little bit of basing
to do.
Yeah, basing to do that.
And and you're in the middle of the Orc Commandos.
Yeah. With a K.
Yeah.
Because orcs use Ks because that is the best.
and that's basically you getting this stuff here, and they're really nice units. They're really. I built every unit to be completely different. I didn't want them to be like all boys or all the same Death Core units.
Yeah, well, that's the way you want them for Kill Team anyway. So.
Yeah. So and you can also, as they've pointed out, is you can buy all of the units.
That reminds me, I haven't actually painted the medical bag.
Oh right, no, true, yeah. And you
It's
can,
up there somewhere.
yeah, it should be. And you can obviously buy the individual boxes. You can buy them, so you don't have to buy the starter set. If you want to bolster your team a bit, or if you want to actually, I believe all these units can be used in the main game in 40k.
Yes.
So if you want to just have these specific units with these,
and for that,
do those rules come over to the main game? For say, if you, I know that they're the Commando boys.
I don't know. Not sure. I don't know much about
the Kill Team,
the Orc Codex, whether or not, because Orc Commandos are a thing.
Right.
They've always been a thing, but I don't know whether or not they've included
the specialisms.
The special options like the sniper rifle or the was it the door knocker down a battering ram thing?
The one down here.
Yeah, so cool. I'm not sure all of those are represented in the Codex at the moment. They may be in a future supplement where they say this is your new Orc Commando data sheet for 40k.
Right. In White Dwarf.
Yeah, probably. But I really hope you're ordering in quite a lot of Death Core Recruit kits because that's going to fly. People are scrambling. The thing is, people were buying the Taurus box just for the Death Core Krieg and then selling everything else.
Right, I didn't realise that.
Yeah, because people want to build an entire Imperial Guard army as Death Core Krieg. People are scrambling for it. So people are going to be buying like 3-4 of these boxes at a time.
Oh, right, okay. Let's have a look quickly of how many I've got coming in. Oh, no, no, 1 second, that's the wrong bit. Yeah. No.
Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be a popular kit. It's going to be a hell of a popular kit.
I need to know these things sooner, guys.
Well, I only found out that this was this week's pre-order last week on Sunday, so...
Yeah. We ordered in 2.
Might want to up that a little bit.
Can't. Literally can't.
Yeah. They will be gone in minutes, I guarantee you.
Right, then you get the Taurus book, which was available inside the main Taurus box, and this is the scenery. One thing to note: if you did buy these all separately, you do double up on the smaller bits of scenery because they are available in both boxes.
Yes, but that's not a bad thing.
No, it gives you a bit more to put around your map.
And that's a nice set. If you're an orc player and you're lacking on a bit of scenery, pick up this box. It's
Oh yeah, this
even if you're not an orc player and you play against orcs, or even want to take all the orc iconography and make your board a little bit more Mad Max like.
true. I mean, you said that there's no way of defeating orcs once they've got to a planet.
I mean,
No, what I'm trying to work out here is
short of burning the planet to a cinder,
yeah.
which has been done before.
I was just thinking, could you have arrived on a planet
I'm
where
looking at
orcs
you, all in
used
all.
to be? Could you arrive on a planet where orcs used to be and you come across like their forts and stuff?
Oh, entirely likely.
Yeah, there you go. Right, moving on. Necromunda. Hive Scum. Now, is this stuff available for stockists or not?
I would
Yes.
imagine so, yes.
So,
So this is basically the Outcast gang, but you only get 4 in a box.
right, okay.
But that's mainly because these can be used by any gang. So anybody that collects any gang for Necromunda can use these as like little extra dudes. So like the we're low on a few dudes. Let's go down the local pub. Who wants a job for a
Right, got
yeah?
you.
Who wants to earn some cash in hand work?
Yeah, got you,
you
yeah.
might get shot, but okay, come on, yeah, you'll do.
All right, so these are the space vespers of Star Wars.
Yeah,
of Boba Fett.
Basically, yeah. Don't get me started.
Delicu weapons and upgrades. Weapons, basically.
Yeah, well, weapons for the dudes in the flasher-backs and bald heads. So,
Yeah, okay.
yeah, they like to be secret-y, sneaky, snipery, and this is more guns, so you can do all that.
Fair enough. So, you can't just... See, this is the thing, right? They're releasing these upgrades after the fact.
Yes.
So you've already built your units. You've already got the arms on and the weapons on. So now you have to get out a pair of snips and cut them off.
Well, it's a nice thing because they did actually previously have upgrade sets for these gangs.
Right.
But they were Forge World specific. There were resin packs of Forge World resin weapons that you could add to your plastic kits.
So you need to use super glue. So you could just snap them off.
But yeah, possibly.
Oh, but they were the same as this, I take it. The
They're
Forge World
pretty much. I think you got a little bit more variety. There was like, where with a Forge World resin kit, you could have one of this, one of this, one of this, one of this, one of
Right.
this, or you could have several of the same thing, but all be in different like arm poses and that. This is like a plastic sprue, so everything's going to be like doubled up, tripled up. It'd be exactly the same, but it gives you those weapon options.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's nice to have. If you're buying a Dalek gang and you want all the options, you need to buy the Dalek gang and the upgrade sprue,
So
and then it gives you all the options.
It's Delec, not Delicu.
Yes.
Well, it says Q. No? Isn't that a Q? Isn't that how you'd say Q?
Dalek.
Yes, yeah, we're in the main building.
Where's the K?
Go through to reception. It's just head down the corridor to the right, and you should see us. We are right.
Sorry, I'll stop.
I bet when you're down at the docks, you say the word quay, don't you?
No.
When you see the sign, you,
Key.
Yeah.
But that ends in an E.
yeah,
Right.
So does that?
No, you said Delec.
yeah. The
Doesn't,
Q's making the same sound.
yeah, but then it's got an ER at the end. It'll be Delecki then, if you want it that way.
What?
It'd be Delaque.
Look, the QU is what makes the K sound, not the QUE.
Yeah.
So it'll be Delecki.
Guys, how do you pronounce it?
No, the E's changing the A.
Oh, I hate English.
The E's changing the sound of the A.
Right, okay,
not
whatever.
the U.
No, I'm not saying the E's changing any sound, is what I was saying. I was saying it isn't changing the sound. I was saying the QU is making the K sound.
Yeah.
Right? And then the E at the end, what's that doing?
It's changing the A. So it's Delac, not...
Right, so... Yeah, okay. Under a card pack, yeah. Okay, fair enough. The card pack. Slobber and Scrapper. This might be Forge World only.
Might be.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or...
But these are nice models.
It's either Forge World or it's just Games Workshop Direct.
I'd imagine these are Forge World, but I really like these. I really, really do like these.
He needs to have like a sign on him saying that I have a body of a god, shame it's Buddha.
Yeah, that's my line. That's what
I have a T-shirt that says that, mate.
Yeah.
Or I used to, anyway.
I do like the idea that he's like walking around and he's got like this mobile food preparation stand that he can just like do on the go. He's like wandering around the underhive going, you want some chopped slug? Yeah. Slug sushi.
Oh, yeah, right there.
Yep.
And this person's selling some watches, basically, or what look like what's that? Some goggles.
Yeah, he's
and...
basically like your back alley dealer. He's the guy that takes all of the maybe dodgy stuff that you've collected and then goes, yeah, I can sell that for you.
Oh, what do they call that? He's a fence. He's your fence.
Yeah, he does have a particular title in this because I know he's a slopper.
He's Scrapper, won't he?
Was it a scrabber?
Yeah.
Scabber.
Well, yeah, I saw an R when there wasn't one. Scapper. And Blood Bowl. Blood Bowl. Oh, yes, this is the... Oh, one second.
Gotta love a rat ogre.
Blood Bowl, blah, 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 blah. Nope. Blood Bowl must be either Games Workshop Direct or Forge World.
No, that'll be a Forge World. Most of the big guys and special players and that are all resin. But that's nice. You gotta love a rat ogre.
Rat ogre.
That's a rat ogre.
Is that his head's just been stitched onto an ogre?
Yep.
Is that what that is? Wow.
Basically.
And he's basically Frankenstein's monster.
Yeah. Cool. Not far off. Skaven, although they're in a fantasy setting, they're very into their mad science.
I think the next bit, what you tend to forget being UK based, is because we get the releases when they release them, you forget that the rest of the world don't get all the releases at the same time. So with this here, Imperium is actually only just being released
Especially
to the rest.
when it's not a Games Workshop publication.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, that might even be more delayed. Yeah.
Yeah.
But in Warhammer 40k Imperium is only just being released to the United States and other parts of Europe. So it's probably because they obviously get the problems that we get over here. You know, like there was one issue where there was 2 A sprues instead of an A and a B sprue.
Right, yeah.
And stuff like that. And then they can sort that out for the rest of the world, because sorting out problems when you're shipping to the Americas is going to be harder than it is to sort them out here first.
I'd imagine they've got distribution avenues. But the thing is, Hatchet Partworks are notoriously bad for their distribution as it is.
Right.
And so if they're then adding in an extra layer of distribution complexity to take it around the world and that, there's going to be people that get the wrong thing and don't receive things on time.
If Hatchet Partworks have got that reputation, that notoriousness of bad distribution, why does...
bad distribution and even worse customer service.
So why does Games Workshop use them?
Because they are the biggest distributor of this kind of publication.
So it might not be that they are bad, it's just that they're so big that
they've got the infrastructure there to do what Games Workshop need them to do. They're not always very good at it, but they're the best there is.
No, yeah, that's what I guess what I'm trying to say is, it just that we hear about it more because they're so big?
Yeah.
Right, okay. So, because I'm just thinking, it's like saying Hermes is massive, Royal Mail is massive, obviously Royal Mail's bigger, but Hermes is still massive, but I wouldn't use them because they're bad.
It's like almost every time you see one of these like weekly publications, build the Titanic week by week.
Yeah.
Only $1.99 for your first issue. £10 a week after that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
for 2 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
Every time you see one of those, 9 times out of 10, it's Hatchet Partworks that are doing it.
Fair enough. Okay, fair enough. So they're getting their first issues coming up soon, which is
Yeah. Hopefully, fingers crossed, no problems.
issue 5, you get this dude, whoever he is.
He is an exclusive Primaris captain that you can only get by buying Imperium magazine.
I did not know that, so I've got him.
Yes, you have.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, he is an exclusive miniature.
And he will become Deathwatch.
Yes, and Antiv actually recently sent me one.
I mean, I'm going to make him Deathwatch.
Yes. No
Can
reason,
I? Am I?
No reason why you can't.
Yes. I just don't think I'll be Halberd.
As long as you can have Primaris captains in Deathwatch, which I believe you can.
You should be able to have any Space Marine unit as long as they are distinguished themselves in battle.
Yeah. So yeah, you can.
But
You can have a Deathwatch captain as a captain for any other chapter you want. It just means that at some point he has served in the Deathwatch.
yeah, and he takes his shoulder pauldron off and puts it on the other side.
Yes.
Because when they
And he still displays his.
Yeah, when
but he paints his armor back to the original colour.
yeah, but
But he keeps the shoulder pad.
No, but it changes from that arm to that arm.
Yeah, but he keeps his Deathwatch.
Because I think
Shoulder
it was it Turnstrike that was saying that, or it was someone in our community that was saying that they put some pictures online of the Deathwatch back in their normal uniform back to the thing, and it had its own special ammo still and special
Right.
stats.
Yeah.
But people were saying the shoulder pauldron was on the wrong side.
Right.
But they didn't realise the law. Right, yeah, so
Most people probably.
I
wouldn't
guess
even
for this
notice.
though, the upgrades that you get for Deathwatch, did they go on top of the Primaris shoulder pauldrons, or would I have to cut that off?
I haven't actually taken a close enough look at
I
the
think
model.
I think they're the same
If the
size.
shoulder pads are a separate piece, which they should be,
Yeah, they are.
then you,
No, not on these. They ain't. On these, they aren't.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because it's most of these are push fit.
Yeah, well, most of the character models, though, especially when it's a single character, they usually have at least one of the shoulder pads where you can change it out.
I've not built. I might not have built this unit then yet.
Yeah. We'll have to have a look at the sprue later.
Yeah, definitely. Right, Black Library, script past Black Library, blah blah blah.
Quite a lot of Black Library,
Yeah,
in
definitely.
fact.
Apparently, their sales percentage for Black Library went up to 0.8% to 2.4% or something similar like that last year.
Yeah,
Someone said that on one of the streams.
makes sense. People would binge watched everything on Netflix and then turn to books.
Audiobooks, probably.
Yeah, probably.
Warhammer Plus. Ooh, they've changed the way that they're laying out. Is it to make it so it looks like it's more? Because before they had like it 1, 2, and like that.
Yeah.
But this looks
It's
like.
still the same low amount of content,
but they're trying to make it look bigger.
Yeah, they've just zoomed in on it a bit.
Yeah. So we've got an animation of Hammer and Bolter artifacts, and then we've got the Deepkin skin tones. Skin tones is always a good one to watch because 9 times out of 10, the technique behind it will stay the same. You're just choosing different colours.
And this is a good one for me to watch actually because I really struggle with paler skin tones because I like to sort of start quite dark
And then highlight.
and then highlight up.
And
My skin
shade
tones tend to
down.
be a lot more sort of tan, and you can make the highlights contrast a lot more. So
Yeah.
you go from dark to light. But whereas this, you're going from light to lighter.
Yeah, I did.
So especially with my eyes, the way they work, and that it's actually very difficult for me.
I did Yndrasta, and it's based in Adeptosaurus. Yndrasta is, and I couldn't do that skin tone on the face properly because she's got pale skin.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, pale
Yeah,
skin is a slightly tougher skin tone to do than maybe a darker skin tone. So this is a good one.
right, there's a few items in the Warhammer Vault, and I believe these White Dwarfs might be those weekly issues you were saying about because they don't actually have an issue title on them.
I'm not sure. 'Cause I actually recognise
The Chaos Space Marine.
the Chaos Space Marine one because I had that issue.
That's a different.
I bought that issue.
That's a different phase, though, isn't it?
That's from when 6th edition was out. So I remember that was when the 6th edition Space Marine Codex came out, and that was one of the first codexes that came out for 6th edition because they were one of the featured box armies.
Oh, okay. Right.
So yeah, that's what, like at least 6 years old, at least,
Okay.
maybe 7, maybe a bit longer. Yeah.
Okay, guys. So that is the conclusion of GW News today. When my button comes back.
Ooh, that's what she said.
Let's do some geeking out, shall we?
Yeah, there's
Right.
quite a bit to do.
Yeah, there is quite a bit to do. One thing we have both watched this week, Eternals.
Yes.
Disney Plus. I mean, come on. I'll say it every time. Disney Plus is amazing, and to be honest, out of all the subscriptions, it's the best one. I personally think. I've got Prime Video. I've got Netflix.
You're talking about Disney Plus, not
Yeah.
Eternal. Right.
Yeah.
Just so we're on the same page, because I massively disagree with that statement if you're talking about Eternals.
I've got Disney Plus, Apple TV Plus, and the only one I haven't got is like the Sky ones. But 9 times out of 10, Sky only get a few bits early, and that's it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, see, I have Sky, I've got Netflix, I've got Prime, I've got Disney Plus. That's it, I think.
so between us, we've got them all
Yeah.
pretty much. Eternals.
Yeah,
Now
probably like
I'm
Hulu
going
and
to
that.
say my little bit, then you can come with your little bit. Is that all right?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
I will sit here judging you quietly.
So it's a Marvel film, and this one statement should sum it up. It's a Marvel film. It's not a Marvel film. They're not superheroes. They're just beings with powers.
Spoiler alert here, I think we have to say at this point. If you
No, I
care about spoilers for Eternals,
I'm not really spoiling it yet.
well,
The name Eternals kind of implies what they
oh,
are.
I'm going to be because I don't care about spoiling
Okay.
it.
Right, spoiler alert. 5 minutes, guys. 5 minutes. It is.
Yeah.
Just give us 5 minutes, then come back. We should be off the spoilers.
Thumbs up when it's
Yeah, but that doesn't help people win the podcast.
Oh, to be honest, there's not really a lot to spoil, but
No. But right now, my opinion of the film was very slow to build. Could have binned 45 minutes of the film, but the last, towards the end, it got better, but then the end was still a bit meh. The film itself, I found enjoyable to watch throughout the whole thing, but nowhere near as enjoyable as other Marvel films. That will be because it was not done like a Marvel film. Basically, I think it's worth watching it. I just don't think it's one of, if you had to categorize all of the Marvel films, it's at the bottom. That's my opinion.
I wouldn't say it's the worst.
But
But
what's worse than it then?
Iron Man 3. Sorry.
Iron Man 3, which remind me, is that Extremis or is that Iron Man 2?
Yes, the Extremis one, yeah.
Yeah, Extremis was a bit much.
Yeah. The Iron Man fall apart suit.
Oh God, yeah.
It's like, yeah, I'm Iron Man. Oh, my armor's fallen off.
You know what? Once you start using an Iron Man suit that falls off you and has major problems, you don't use it as your main suit.
Yeah.
You keep working on it, but use the one earlier on that was your main suit.
Yeah. Big terrorist guy, come at me, bro. This is my address. Oh, why is my house now blowing up?
Yeah.
I was not prepared for this.
Yeah. Why didn't he have all of his Iron Man suits on defensive perimeter watch and stuff like this? It's like
It was
ridiculous.
It was just bad. It was just bad.
Yeah.
And
Okay. It was
I know
bad.
that this is a
Bad, but still more
a
enjoyable.
controversial opinion, but I thought Iron Man 3 was worse than Iron Man 2.
Iron Man 2 was
Actually-
the
Whiplash.
Formula 1 Whiplash.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be honest, yeah.
I like that one.
Hammer Industries.
Yeah, I mean, it's not in the upper echelons by any stretch, but it was better than 3.
Okay, but at the same time, Eternals still, those two Iron Man films were still more enjoyable than Eternals, in my opinion. Right, so your take on Eternals.
It was an interesting film. I actually quite liked the sort of dynamic and the explanations as to why they hadn't gotten involved. Well, once they fully explained it, it was like, oh, you know what? Yeah, that makes sense. So it's like you got these.
Well, one of them did get involved, but he couldn't be too involved because then the rest of them would have killed him.
Yeah,
Or erased his memory.
basically, yeah. But at any rate, so yeah, I mean, it wasn't anything special. It was a group of superheroes fighting against something, which it's a pretty cut and paste. This is a superhero film. You've got individuals that with superpowers that fight monsters.
They have got superpowers, but at the same time, because they don't get involved, they're not like your traditional superhero. They don't get involved in crime. Do you get what I mean?
This was Marvel exposition, the movie. There was a lot of talking. There was a lot of universe building. Not even universe building, universe expanding.
Yeah, basically, they are leading on to the next phase.
Yeah, this set up threads for a lot of things.
Yes.
And I think that was its purpose. Because of that, there were times where it got a little bit boring. It did not need to be a 2.5-hour film.
No, like I said, they could have
nowhere near.
They could have easily been 45 minutes of the film.
Yeah,
easily.
Now the twist that I don't know about you, but I saw a mile coming.
Harry Styles.
Yeah,
but he implied that he knew all of them. Which, see, what I don't get is
and a wasted villain as well. A villain that they you thought was the villain that they set up, and it didn't lead to anything. They just killed him in a cave.
And also, if in my eyes, that villain could have, if he absorbed every single one of their powers, would have actually led to him being able to kill the Celestials. So why not let him carry on?
Well, they didn't want to kill the Celestial. They just wanted to.
No, they had to in the end.
Well, no, that one.
Yeah.
They just wanted, and they didn't even want to kill it.
Now, if you've watched a film, and it's been out now since I think it was September, so people have had enough time to actually watch it, so I will just massively spoil it.
Yeah, so from this point on, it's spoiler.
The Celestials basically are born every few billion years, and their seed is planted inside...
The Earth is a god egg.
Yeah, right.
Who thought that was a good idea?
Yeah, I know, right?
That was terrible.
Now, apparently, the Eternals don't get involved on earthly matters or any matter on any bit, but they saw Thanos coming. Now, they tried to solve this by talking about the Thanos situation during the film, but they knew Thanos was happening. They knew what he was going to do, and they knew he was going to wipe out half the population of the world. That set back...
Did they know that, though?
Yeah, they even mentioned it.
No, they knew that it happened and what happened, but it's the same as everybody else. They didn't know it was going to happen.
But the thing is, Thanos was dominating the galaxy. He literally wiped out loads of life across the entire galaxy, right?
Well, the fact of the matter is that they just kept their heads down.
No, my point is, the Isaiah, or whatever his name is, Azarim, that was it, Azarim, he would have known that every now and then there was worlds getting half their population just killed by Thanos, as in manually.
Yeah.
Right? Which would have... Each sentient world out there is a god egg. That's what they're saying. Every single sentient world is a god egg. No,
not all of them.
Well, from what I read through from the actual... the way they were trying to say it is, every time a new Celestial is born, right, they get born, they explode the world they're on, and then they actually spread thousands of other god eggs out amongst creating new life. That's how new life is created. So they're saying new life is only... They only
seed... They create hundreds of thousands of new civilizations. They only seed a fraction of those. They only actually seed a fraction of those with the...
What they did say was that they create life by doing the seeds. What they didn't say is that life creates itself anyway. They're implying that they are God, and they're creating all the lives throughout all the universe. That's how I read it.
But by every basic definition of the word God, they qualify.
Yes, I would agree.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say is, I interpreted it as that every single world that's got intelligent life on it has a god egg inside it.
No, I don't think it's. I don't think that's the case. I think it's that they create thousands of worlds, and then they seed a fraction of those, and then they in turn create thousands more. Then they seed a fraction of it's a never-ending expansion.
Right. So it's not the fact that eventually all of those worlds will will explode.
No,
it's just that
it just so happens
if they seed 100, they'll seed 5.
Yeah.
If they build 100, they'll seed 5. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. That's fine. That makes more sense.
Yeah, it just so happened that Earth drew the short straw on that.
point is, though, it's still fact. They would have known Thanos was happening. They would have known where the... if you're a Celestial, you would know where the Infinity Stones are. Why not
Would you
stop?
though?
Would they...
Ultimate power doesn't necessarily mean omniscience or omnipresence.
Okay, that's fair enough.
I mean, if it did, they wouldn't need agents to work on their behalf.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
My point, what I am trying to say is, if they'd just dealt with Thanos, then the egg would have hatched sooner anyway. Yeah. So,
But at the end of the day, when you're a god that's been alive since the dawn of time, delaying the emergence of a god for a few centuries while a population repopulates again doesn't mean anything to you. It's a drop in the ocean. It's like,
yeah, that's a fair point. Yeah, yeah.
It's like turning up 2 minutes late to something. It's like
30 seconds. Yeah.
Yeah, like-
no, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
Now, the big marble head and fingers sticking out of the world.
that's gonna affect things.
Not only that was coming out of the Earth. Mm-hmm. What's been replaced? What went in its place?
Well, you could actually see as it was coming out, the oceans were draining.
So that's
into the
actually
hole.
going in behind it.
Yeah, the oceans
Right,
were like
okay.
draining it down a plug hole.
Yeah, but so the world's ocean level has dropped.
Will have done.
Climate change, it's solved, everyone.
Yeah, that will have happened.
And now we've got like a big head poking out of the ground, like a couple miles high.
Yeah.
It's just quite fun.
Yeah.
Right now, does this lead on to the celestial beings being not the same type, but like another? Do they come? Are they in the same canon? That's the word.
Yeah.
As Nowhere in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes, that is the head of a celestial.
Yeah, but it's not the same type of head, is it? It's like those those 6
No, but-
eyes on
yeah.
that one, and the celestial in Nowhere is actually like a skull.
Yeah, but who's to say that thing isn't a helmet or something?
They're born with a helmet.
Yeah, could be.
Could be. But then, yeah,
Could be. Or maybe it did have the helmet with the multiple eyes and that, and they've already mined away all of that,
yeah,
and they're just left with the skull.
maybe.
Yeah.
So it's been. Did you think that it was turned into marble?
Yes. It did.
That's what it looked like to me.
It
Marble.
did. Yeah, it did look like it would turn into marble.
So there shouldn't be, and I hope they don't do it, the fact that they can then mine inside that head in the future, in future films,
It probably will.
to get all of that like slop that they got in Nowhere.
Yeah. I mean, you got to imagine it's God marble. The God marble's got to be worth something.
Okay. Alright, so do you have anything more to say about Eternals? I mean,
Well, one thing I do want to say is that they actually changed the ending of the film. The actual original ending of the film ended with the Earth being destroyed and the Eternals then getting reset and sent to a new world.
you mean they changed the ending of the story, not the film?
Both. They filmed that ending.
They filmed the Earth getting destroyed.
Yeah, they
Do you reckon that was just to keep off any leaks?
No. That apparently the director wanted that ending, but then the Marvel head-ups stepped in and go, "You can't blow up the Earth. We're still using it."
Right, so hopefully, if I went back on Disney Plus in the extra section, because if you ever look on Disney Plus, the extra section's really good. It has a lot of bloopers and cutscenes and
Yeah.
stuff like
I
that.
mean,
So
the-
it might
the-
have an alternative ending.
Well, yeah. Well, I've seen the screenshots of basically all the Eternals
storybook.
waking up on a new world, and they're being reset. They're in that like they're just their civvy clothes again.
That's cool. Yeah. Right, okay.
But yeah, that was a thing that was done.
Okay, that's Eternals, guys. We've finished the spoiler section on Eternals.
Safe, Jay.
It's safe now. Right, what have you been watching? You said you've been watching something else.
Yes. Yesterday I watched Quiet Place 2. Quiet Place Part 2. I really enjoyed Quiet Place.
Okay.
It was really interesting. It was a really interesting take on a horror film, and It did something that I didn't think a film would be able to do. It made me put my phone down.
Because you needed to pay
Because you
attention.
had to pay attention.
Right, yeah, okay.
And you had to watch it.
I hate when control room uses a phone when we're watching a film. I hate it.
Telly?
No, what service?
Oh, I can't even remember. Probably Netflix.
Okay. I've not seen Quiet Place. I've not seen Quiet Place 2. I don't like horrors. Absolutely hate them. Don't like to be scared. I don't like to go to sleep and then have a dream about getting killed.
But yeah, it literally, Quiet Place 2, if you've seen the original Quiet Place, it literally picks up exactly where the first one left off.
Oh, that's cool.
It's like
That's cool,
literally the dead body of the alien is still warm and they're stepping over it and they're like, right, we're off.
Right, okay. Is it, apart from it being, it's a horror, right? Or is it a thriller?
It's not
I'd
particular.
say it's horror-y.
It's horror.
Is it a bit like,
It's not overly horrible. It's not particularly graphic. It's more sort of suspenseful than anything.
what's that film where they're in New York City and it's all filmed from a person holding the camera and it's essentially aliens there?
Cloverfield.
Cloverfield, right? Is it like that? Because that was a horror that was actually sci-fi interesting, if you go what I mean.
Yeah, so it's kind of more of the same, but not a lot more of it. I mean, the film's only an hour and 20 minutes long.
No, I mean like Quiet Place in general.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah,
okay.
it's a similar sort of vein of well, not even that, because
It's a horror, but
Cloverfield was more of this is all going on around us, we need to get somewhere safe, we're out of the danger. This Quiet Place is more,
you need
but
to
that's
survive.
already happened.
We need to
this is
survive
now what life is like after the fact.
Right, okay.
Yeah, life is now very different.
Okay. Right, okay. So you like The Quiet Place? And
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but like I said, only an hour and 20 minutes long, and they
Very
left
short.
But they left it on a cliffhanger, which leads me to believe that
There's a
they
third.
filmed a much longer film, maybe a 3-hour film, but they said, "Oh, we can turn this into 2 films."
Yeah, okay. Right, right. Any more geeking out to talk about? Right, I've been watching something that's... Yes, Paige? Oh, yeah, we can talk about Activision Blizzard quickly.
Yeah, and Space Vespers as well. I wanna
Oh,
mention
yes, I
those.
forgot. Yes. Okay, let's just quickly talk about the book of Boba Fett, because obviously it's still... that's TV series, movies more interlinked than Activision is. Now, the Book of Boba Fett, last week's episode, I was expecting great things after episode 2, and episode 3, there were so many elements of it that were just meh.
The first 2/3 of the episode, good. I thought really good.
I didn't like it when...
The whole thing with the Hutts turning up and going, "You've got bigger problems. We're out. By the way, sorry for
they're
trying
not.
to kill you."
But they're not really, are they?
You know, they're. I don't see a reason why they would be lying about that. And
No, what I mean is they're just waiting to see who out of the battle wins.
Oh, totally.
And then come back and kill them.
Oh yeah, totally.
That's what I mean. They're just stepping back, saying, "Fight amongst yourselves, and we'll kill whoever survives."
Yeah, but no, they'll come back if Boba Fett wins. If the other side wins, and that they've already said it's not worth our time and money to make war with them.
Right.
So
Because they're bigger than you.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, our operation is bigger than this planet, and we don't really care about it that much.
It was just an honor thing.
Yeah, and it's like, going up against them, it's going to cost us more than we'll gain, so there's no point.
Right. So I didn't like it when we found out that the Sand People had died. I thought that was sad.
Yeah, I was a little...
I didn't think they needed to go down that route unless there's more along that
I wasn't sad about it. I was more annoyed that they'd spent the last 2 episodes
building out.
building them up and building them as a
But then
kind
again,
of an element.
we're getting onto the bit next where they're going to be talking about those riders, those
Yeah.
gang riders. I think that they needed to do that to show his anger towards them, and that will probably happen in episode
But
4 or
in all
5.
fairness, that was kind of... He kind of asked for that.
Yeah, it is in retaliation to him going after the thing.
It wasn't them being malicious. Well, it was them being retaliatory.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah. Okay.
And it's just going to be a tit for tat. It's like,
He's going to end up having to take out the entire rider gang.
it's like the old adage: an eye for an eye leaves the whole world blind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apart from the fact that it was the first person that committed the transgression. If you take his eye, then it should just stop after that.
No,
If I went and took you,
because that's not how.
if you took my eye and then I took your eye, you're not going to just take my eye again because you did the first one.
Yeah. I was like, wait, you can't take my eye. I took your eye. Well, I'm taking your other one. That's how that works.
Yeah, but that's just petty.
Yeah.
But
taking an eye for an eye is a petty in the first place.
No, it's not. That's called justice.
Yeah, but justice is subjective.
Kill them all. Kill them all.
Yeah. Like I said, in a world where it's an eye for an eye, the whole world ends up blind.
No, we're not going to go down another argument again, don't worry. No. Right. So, Book of Boba Fett, Episode 3, Space Vespers. That is the most.
This was a good idea.
Like,
at least make them look dirty.
no, because they're whole. I can understand. Right. The very fact that they put them in there in the first place, mistake. Now they're in there. Let's accept it. Because they're in there, they did it correct. What I'm trying to say is, if you are a Vesper gang,
right,
like that,
on a desert planet,
right,
with harsh conditions,
your primary role is to keep it shiny.
And you're poor and you can't afford water and you're on the streets warming yourselves.
But they can afford. They're not poor though.
They were poor.
No, they're just saying they don't want to pay those prices.
Yeah. But they did. They were.
How can
they
you
were
be
turning
poor?
around and saying that they couldn't have jobs.
No,
but
but
they were the unemployed. They didn't have jobs.
Yeah, they didn't have
there was no
jobs,
work.
but they were stealing everything. So
because they didn't have jobs.
Yeah, but
they couldn't pay for anything.
Yeah, but they didn't need to because they were stealing everything.
But because they were poor.
I would say
They said that.
I would say that every criminal out there in the real world will say they're poor because they don't have a job, but might be more well off than me and you, mate. That's my point.
Yeah, but they were just street thugs.
But they weren't just street thugs. They had the Vespers, because they had the droid enhancements and stuff like that. Clearly, they weren't just thugs.
Right, living on Tatooine, unless they just bought those from the dealership, brand new, that day,
Yeah.
a day of use would not leave them that shiny.
Agreed. Agreed.
The paint would be chipped and scratched. Sandstorms are a thing.
And not just that, just riding along. If you're behind the one in front, by the time you've even gone 5 meters, it's going to be stone chipped. Yeah, I mean, it's just...
Yeah. They looked out of place. They had nice finery. Everybody else on Tatooine wears rags and robes and head coverings and that. They're there in suits. It's like... And they're the thugs that live on the street.
Yeah.
Sorry, what?
They shouldn't have put the Vespers there in the first place, in my opinion.
No. And then they
did a road chase scene.
a high speed chase.
Oh my god! It was like I could run faster than.
Yeah, it was walking pace. It was like just get off the bike and walk.
And then it's almost as if they actually built the Vespers and put them on wheels, and then and then as they were going along, they were bumping over every little bump. I'm sorry, hovercraft have a degree of. You go over a rock and it takes that rock underneath it. It doesn't bump over it. Do you get what I mean?
Right. So, what you've got these elements: a speeder motorcycle,
Yeah.
a high-speed chase,
Yeah.
and there's a ramp. What do you expect to see in that situation? What you don't expect to see is...
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. You expect to see.
You want airtime.
Yeah.
You want a bit of airtime. not a...
Well, yeah. What you expect is the pod racer out of episode 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And all of those racers were rich. All of those racers were rich, and none of their stuff looked shiny.
That's true. Yeah. That's true. The episode itself, in the whole, didn't progress the story much at all. It basically revealed what we all knew about the mayor, and
I mean, we're halfway through the series now.
6 episodes. Are you? Mandalorian was 10.
Well, we're, episode 4 today, so.
Yeah, but they're still not halfway, right?
There's usually about.
Please let there be 10.
Well, there was only between 6 and 8 of Hawkeye, so.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, it's kind of becoming
6.
kind of the standard.
What, 6 episodes and you have to wait a year?
Especially when it's series 1 of a different project.
Yeah, I'm not liking it when it's that little amount of episodes. I can understand the production
first half
costs.
of the series is all set up. I want a lot of stuff to happen in the second half now.
Yeah, okay. But episode 3, you could watch episode 1 and 2, miss 3, and hopefully determine from what today's is. I think you could literally miss episode 3 altogether, and it won't matter.
Well, there's a few points like, where the hell did he get that rancor? You kind of need to know that.
Yeah, that's a fair point. And
I think that's going to come into play.
And also the very fact that...
Yeah, and why isn't he fighting against the Hutts anymore?
Oh, yeah, someone needs to do a highlight reel, like a 30-second highlight reel, and that'll do it for you.
Yeah, like I said, watch the first 2/3, and then you can skip over the rest.
Right. Okay. Anything else for? Oh yes. Let's talk about Activision Blizzard King.
Yeah, this is I mean, this is more your area.
Is it King, the third company that Activision Blizzard own? Anyway, Microsoft has announced yesterday that it's had an agreement with Activision Blizzard that it will purchase its gaming development and library, pending regulatory approval. Now, with there being so few big hitters in the world of game developing these days, it actually might not go through. Because a lot of the time, when you get down to there being less than 4 to 5 big hitters, let's take, for example, the mobile phone industry. There's only 4 mobile networks, and the rest of them are what's known as virtual mobile operators, where they use EE, like Virgin uses EE or O2 or something like that. But they're not. There's only 4.
They don't have their own satellites.
Masts.
Well, that too.
Yeah. So if you get to game developers have to come under the same thing. There has to be enough competition in the environment in that sector for the regulatory approval body, whatever that is, to actually approve a merger. So if you're merging and you're taking out a lot of the competitiveness, then actually it probably won't go through. But at the same time, what does Microsoft actually produce themselves? Because if they don't produce much themselves in the grand scheme of things, then it might just purely go through, purely because they're not taking away themselves. They're just literally going on top of an existing. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Kind of. Yeah.
I know there is Microsoft Studios, but I don't know a huge amount of stuff they... But is it Destiny 2? Destiny they basically make, isn't it? A couple other titles.
You're asking the wrong person.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
But effectively, what this can mean in the future is the Activision and Blizzard and mobile game environment might change what is available to console players. So Call of Duty, at least one of the games, I'm not sure if it's Black Ops or the other one. I think what's it called? What is the 2 Call of Duty franchises? There's Black Ops and I can't remember what the other one's. Modern Warfare, is it? Anyway, Call of Duty is obviously non-specific. It's available to almost all platforms. So if Microsoft do get hold of Activision, it could well be that Microsoft either make it Xbox PC exclusive or delay the release to PlayStation by some months or years.
PC Master Ratio.
Yeah, so basically it could well be that this has a massive effect on PlayStation owners, which Microsoft will love, but half of the world won't. Because Call of Duty is, I think...
Well, they'll moan about it and they'll grumble about it as they're on their way down to the shop to buy an Xbox.
You can't buy an Xbox right now.
Well, it's the PlayStation you can't get.
No, you can't get any of them.
Oh, right. Oh.
You can get the Xbox that's not the high version. The what? You know you got the Series X and the Series S, right? You can buy the Series S but not the Series X because the chip shortage, basically. So, yeah, it's. We'll have to wait and see what happens, but it's very interesting. This development is going to affect gaming quite a bit, and more so than people actually probably initially thought.
The PlayStation will just have to come up with
Their own version.
new titles that are good, rather than just riding old franchises.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm not in. I have an Xbox, and actually coming up in February, I haven't played it for almost a year. So, yeah, I'm not really into the gaming world anymore. But that is what it is.
Yeah, just as I'm getting back into it after 20 years of ignoring it.
Oh yeah, obviously I play World of Tanks on the PC version. Okay, guys, we're going to move on now to the listeners' questions section of the podcast. Please do get in your questions into the chat now. It's a question with a big capital. If you do not have any questions, please do not type anything at this moment in time, because last week we actually missed a couple of questions because there was too many people talking about different things. So only text in the chat if you have a question, or go over to Discord right now, go to the listeners' questions section and put your question in there. And we want at least one Law of Gus, please, guys. All right, let's have a look at Discord.
Questions are in different, so there is one question in Law of Gus, and then there's another one that's in listeners' questions, and there's another question.
There's not one in listeners' questions.
Yeah, Jay put one in Law with Gus.
Law of Gus. What is the least powerful faction in 40k universe? I am not looking for the army. It is the weakest, but in the lore. Which faction has the less technology and is behind all the others? Oh, in other words, he's not looking for point-based weakness. He's looking for what is considered the least powerful faction in 40k.
Right. So there's a lot of... Well, what you got to realise is the galaxy is a big place. And of all the big army factions and that are represented in Games Workshop, they're just the big players. And they are not the majority of races. There is a vast array. There are billions of stars with habitable life and technologically advanced civilizations, but literally just existing on that one world.
Right.
There are hundreds of thousands of them. It's very, very difficult to pinpoint any one particular race. Of the ones that are known of, there's one known as the Herd.
Okay.
Which are kind of semi-known about, and they're kind of like these slug-type aliens that have...
What about ones we've got models for?
So ones we've got models for, despite their high technology, the Tau are actually very, very small influence on the events that happen in the universe. Their empire is tiny compared to...
And they're considered in the lore to be the weakest because they are young.
Yeah, they're young. They're not a threat yet. They're just they're a nuisance.
They're a mosquito on the back of the
More of a
Imperial
cockroach.
War Machine.
More of a cockroach.
Can't kill it.
Yeah, because although they're a minor inconvenience, they're bloody hard to get rid of.
Okay. But obviously, that's considering it from a lore perspective. Considering it from a newly updated points perspective,
Oh, dear.
Tau are gonna kick ass.
Oh God, they're going to be. They're going to.
We had the railgun buff. Now we've had the plasma gun buff, isn't it? Is it the
No, it's the the plasma blast.
cannon?
He's basically the universe's biggest shotgun.
Yeah, and that's been buffed.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna use hammerheads and storm surges and riptides, and I'm just gonna sit at the back of the field and just blast them all.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
That's the way.
Yeah. You know that when I said to you about I'm just going to have a line of defense like my units, and then like in the olden days when we had the red coats and they would just have one set on the knees, one standing and all that.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to put them in front of my hammerheads and just just shoot.
Yeah. But yeah, from an armies you can buy perspective, the Tau are lore wise like the least threatening thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Not much more to say about that.
No. Like I said, you've got lots of like minor races, but a lot of them have like been folded into like the Tau Empire and things like the Crew. The Crew are a species unto themselves, and the Crew are more of a mercenary. They've been taken into the Tau fold, but they kind of do a bit of work on the side as a mercenary force.
Okay. What about Gene Stealer cults as their own entity, not where they take in, convert people or do anything like that? The Gene Stealer cults themselves, they haven't really got a foothold anywhere, have they? They haven't got their own world, have they? Aren't they aliens that come in from outside the galaxy?
So
or different.
They are actually part of the Tyranids.
Tyranids.
Gene Stealer cult is actually part of the Tyranids. Basically, what Gene Stealers are, Gene Stealers themselves are Tyranids.
Okay.
But they are like the advanced scout force. They send out the Gene Stealers. They infiltrate these worlds. They then implant their genes into the citizens, take control of their minds, create a cult, undermine the infrastructure of planets from within, while these cults build up and rot a planet from within, essentially. And they then prepare for the arrival of their star gods, who then come along and eat them.
Oh, right.
And reabsorb them into their biomass, and then just keep rinse and repeat.
Oh, okay, yeah, so it's...
So although the Gene Stealer cults themselves are not a massive threat, they are a part of a larger threat, which is a big threat.
Cool. Right. In terms of technology and weakness, I would say the Gene Stealer cults. I did not read that, guys. I did not read that.
Yeah, but the thing is, the technology for Gene Stealer cults is the technology of the Imperium, because, like I said, they go in to Imperial worlds, they subvert its population, and then they use the tools of the Imperium against them.
Okay, cool. Right, there's no other questions actually this week, which is a bit of a surprise. We normally get about at least 2 to 3 questions every week, but that's fine. That's not a problem. We have actually run over time a little bit this week. Little bit of GG news. It's stuff I've already mentioned in the past. We are getting a restock of mainly paints and the most popular boxes today. It'll be arriving between definitely before 4 o'clock. So if you have been waiting to buy some paints, they will be at least on tonight for you to get those. We're getting a World of Tanks refresh today. A little bit of news on Worlds of Tanks is that the M26 Pershing, the Tiger 1, and the IS-2 are out of stock with Battlefront miniatures.
Can't find them anywhere. I even tried looking up on eBay earlier on for some of them, and I was just like, nope, nothing.
We got a little bit of a screenshot sent to us from Battlefront Miniatures. Now, I probably shouldn't say this, but I don't think they're watching this podcast, so I don't think I'll get my trade rep in. I don't think I'll get my trade rep in trouble. Now, on it showed what their current stock levels were for different tanks. Like the Comet only had like 30 or 40 tanks left, right, total, right, and they've got none on the way, right. And that's what I saw from that list. There's other tanks, like I think it was the Cromwell has got 1,000 tanks units left on their shelves. Now, the 3 tanks that I mentioned just then that were out of stock, they've only got 72 of one of them coming in and 32 of the other 2 coming in.
Like, there's a lot of demand.
Once they are in stock,
they'll go.
That's it. They're going to go. Now, I'm going to order from Battlefront Miniatures every Monday, and I just hope that I just happen to order from them on the correct day.
Yeah.
Because quite literally, once it does come in, we're going to be, they're going to sell out straight away. They are. So, if anyone's hoping and waiting to get any of those free units from me, but you happen to find them elsewhere, I implore you,
grab them.
Just get them. You could probably buy them and then charge them double the price on eBay, and
probably,
it would
because there's none on eBay at all.
Yeah, Now, if you're not entering into a tournament, you could always buy the Flames of War versions because the you won't be able to get the upgrade cards that are inside them, but the tank card on the Gal Force 9 website, a lot of their images include the tank card in the available images, so you can get the stats.
Yeah, so you can probably make up a data card for it.
Yeah.
Even if you can't get a photocopy, you can make your own.
Yeah. So yeah, if buying the Flames of War ones is an option for you, then you could always do that.
Yeah.
But you can't do that in the tournament, sadly. Tournaments restrict you to using World of Tanks only, and each tank must have its own
Official cards.
official card, basically. You can't use photocopies, you can't use duplicates, you can't use one card between two.
Tournament organizer depending, but most of them will probably
Because it's my first tournament, I want to run it as per they tell me to run it.
Yeah.
And it also helps if you stay with that continuity, because if you ever then go to play a tournament elsewhere, then you know what to expect.
Well, this way as well, everyone can look up the tournament rules on the website then, and that all have the same information.
Exactly. If you buy Flames of War, can you download the cards for them? No.
Don't think there's a place for you to download them. No.
No, you can just look at the image and just take the stats.
I don't think there's even anywhere where somebody has like taken the ones that they've got and uploaded them anywhere. Well, I might have had a look, but I couldn't find anything. But unless somebody knows better, and message me later.
On our shop, I don't know why we've got some of them and why we haven't. It's either whoever was adding that tank to our shop either didn't get the second image, it might have been me, or they just simply wasn't available from the Gal Force 9 website. But some of the tanks actually have the tank card in the picture, and they show what upgrade cards you would get inside the box, which is really handy, especially if you're thinking about, I just want to buy that tank for the upgrade cards.
Yeah.
Because the only way to get all of the upgrade cards is to buy all of the tanks.
Yeah.
And the game mats, and the No, do you get any in the tokens? I'm not sure if you do. I don't think you do.
You don't get any in the game mat, I don't think.
No. Oh, one second. You know how... Oh, right. No, we were talking about the redeem codes. We weren't talking about token. I know we were talking about the cards. But in the World of Tanks Vallejo paint set, you get upgrade cards as well.
Yeah.
So there's a few places you can get... Oh, you don't get any... Yeah, I'm getting confused between redeem codes and upgrade cards.
Yeah, there's some things that have redeem codes and some things that have upgrades, but they don't have both.
Yeah.
Most of them have both, but not everything has both.
Right, so the last bit of GG news I've got for everyone is, in a week and a half we have our first tournament, 29th of January. I believe I've got 4 people entered. 2 people still need to buy their tickets. I've still got 4 tickets available, that means. So if you are hoping to buy a ticket, please do it soon, because those 4 tickets are likely to go before the tournament day.
Or will go on the day to the first people that get here.
And you've got the first alternates, basically.
Yes. If there's a spare ticket on the day, I'm having it.
And I'm really looking forward to this because it's going to be quite good. This tournament's going to be 200 points. It's the standard one. And I think what I want to do for the next tournament is just up that by 50 points just to see what people do with those extra 50 points. So, yeah, it's definitely one to have a look at. It's a 3-round tournament. I'm going to see how it plays, and then we can see if we can ever increase that to 5-round tournaments in the future. But it's an hour a game, and it's going to be quite interesting. I implore anyone to come and actually just watch. If you don't want to play, come watch.
What time does it kick off at?
9:30.
9:30.
It's earlier than we open.
Yeah. So be here for 9 for a start at 9:30.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. I will be here at 9. So, yeah. So, guys, thank you very much for joining us today on GG Shop Talk. I have been your host, Brendan Mills.
And I'm definitely still me.
You've forgotten what you said in the beginning, didn't you?
I can't even remember.
This is Ian White from Gus the Hutt. You can find our channel at twitch.tv/Griffin Gaming Harlow, and Gus's channel you can find at twitch.tv/Gus the Hutt. Thank you for joining us today, and have a great week. We'll see you next time.
Negative Nancy, that was it. Thank you.